Hey yo guys, welcome back in live guys, welcome back for this new episode of Space Café, and today will be so fucking interesting. And yeah, so today we are here with a fucking master of a fucking mastering. So say hello guys to Gabb. Hello, brother. How are you, my brother?
I'm fine, man.
Yes. I decided to wear my new glasses. Just, I don't know.
They fit very well.
Yeah, thank you, bro. With my new color. Yes. And so, wait a second. Yeah. The volume is so good. So how are you, bro? All good?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah,
Okay.
Today I stayed at the seaside to relax a little bit, and it was really good day to enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, amazing, bro.
It was really good.
It was an amazing sunny
You know,
day
back here.
to enjoy the studio.
Yeah, for both.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to start maybe to speak with us to talk about maybe your story, how you approach to the music or music production, also because now you started to work more on mastering and technical stuffs, right?
Oh yes.
But you started
Yes.
producing music, right?
Basically, yeah. The last 1 year and a half, I am dedicating myself completely, or 90% of the time I spend in the studio is for technical stuff. That's all because of the COVID, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I started producing in the far 2014, 15.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Spain and I built my first studio over there. But unfortunately, Spain in those years wasn't very active in the electronic music scene, especially where I was in Valencia, that
Yeah.
I lived there.
How much
So,
you was
yeah.
there? How much?
I've been there for a year,
okay.
one single year.
Okay.
Yeah, with my ex-girlfriend, we stayed there and we enjoyed a lot. But for the music scene, especially electronic music, it wasn't so good. So I was there in my little cave, my first studio built with the eggs stuffs and very very dramatic situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, for starting producing, it was fine. So.
Do you?
And then from there, a Danish label called Unique Sound Records contact me for the,
Sorry, I
the
have
music
to do, I have
that
to
I
do it.
made.
Sorry, brother, but you know that I have to do every fucking time this shit with the light because it doesn't work. There's not too much light. But
Okay, for the focus.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, so brilliant. But anyway, sorry for the
Yeah.
interruption, bro.
So yeah, from there, this guy from Unique Sound Record contacted me for my music, and then just a light
Okay.
up in my head, and I told myself, yeah, I'm not so bad to produce. No, it was just the first year or two that I was into producing. I first started with a FL Studio because of we started with my friend at home, like a game, no, like playing
Yeah,
with
sure.
stuff and everything. And
Yeah.
I follow for with FL Studio in Spain, making some music, but at a very I guess we say a rudimental level,
Yeah.
no technical information known, everything from zero, and looking for the right tutorial
Yeah.
to do the stuff, no?
And also was
And
not so
yeah,
good
it was
also in the beginning. I think also I remember we have talked about that in the past episode. Also in the beginning was not so easy to find skills and stuff like now that you can go on YouTube and find everything.
yeah, there was less and less material to check out, so it
Absolutely.
was a bit difficult for producers or people who wanted to start to have some good information around, and it was more trial and error and praying Jesus to to the music to sound good.
Yeah, yeah.
Because also, we with not a lot of money at the beginning, it was more an exploration of music.
Yeah,
What I
sure.
can do, what music I could do, what kind of genre passionates me more, and then being at the first parties before going to Spain, just my ears were going in the direction of
Okay.
psychedelic music. So
But you started producing
that's
like
the
say trance, or you start with other music?
yeah. Let's say yes. Before Psytrance, I was just jamming with a friend of mine that introduced me to FL Studio,
Okay.
but it was more like a jam stuff than
Okay.
doing tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
And then from there, I went back to Italy in 2017. I had the opportunity to live in this country house that it was semi-abandoned. It was a house from my parents and my grandparents that they lived here
Yeah.
in the past. Then they left the house. So when I came back, I told them, well, if I could live there, why not? I could build here my studio and enjoy the nature outside.
Yeah.
We are completely immersed in the Tuscan woods, so you can imagine all the birds and silence here. It's
Definitely amazing.
it's like a Nirvana place. So
Yeah. And also
So,
your
yeah.
your studio anyway now looks so cool. Maybe it was better the
Yeah.
eggs things on the wall, but I don't know.
yeah, I think it's a little better now. But yeah, it comes like this after years of year training and looking for the right placement of the panels. We have also other stuff in the ceiling.
Yeah.
The front we couldn't view, but I also have two panels on the front. Behind the screen, some bass traps with some diffusion to bring the little more the liveliness of the room, and also you can see another diffuser over there
Yeah, I see
to
it. Yeah.
mitigate the effect of all the bass trap that I have to make the room a bit more bright and enjoyable for
Sure.
playing music and for work.
Absolutely.
And yeah, a combination of good treatment, good speakers, and maybe a good pair of headphones
yeah.
makes me work with fun, because I am confident with what I do and I enjoy more. So
Absolutely.
for all the producer out there, maybe if they haven't the possibility to build a room like this, to spend a bit of money on the treatment, the first thing I suggest is a headphone,
Yeah.
because you haven't to mess with the room. Then
Yeah.
maybe a speaker and a basic treatment to have a second reference
Yeah,
of
yeah, but
what you do, no?
every time is better spend maybe 20 or 30% less on speakers and spend it on treatment is better.
Yeah. Or also I can say half and half. If you
Yeah.
have a budget, like divide 50-50 about speakers and treatment, or maybe 60% on speakers and 40% on treatment. But you will see, for everyone that maybe want to build their studio and build some panels like this,
Yeah.
that you can see, it's Rockwool at 60 kilos or 70 kilos density.
Yeah.
The more space you fill with
Yeah.
that in the corner, the more it will absorb the low frequencies.
Yeah.
But the real trick is to not buy too big speakers if you have a small room, because they will work. They won't work good because they produce a lot more air. They blow out a lot more air, and maybe you'll need a bit more of treatment to make them work fine. So it's like a compromise every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you want to speak about something about you more, or you want to start to speak about something about...
But I end up my story with music. So back to Spain, I come back to Italy, and I started really to do music in like more professional way. So I built my studio here with all the panels. I buy some new speakers and some material. Work in the sports shop as my main income to invest here. And then I started to play some parties. I went to France, I went to Spain, I played in Italy, a lot of parties. And then before COVID in 2019, I had to do my India tour. That was scheduled 80%, and then COVID came, and I had a total block of myself. So I started to thinking about what I do now with all this, with the studio. I have no more inspiration. I have no more the possibility to play. So I just take a road aside and went to the technical side of what I love to do, this music. So I get passionate a bit more. I do some courses with Luca Pretolesi and other engineers.
He's a king.
Yeah. It teaches very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
He made good tutorials also, and he also have a platform that is on the web that I can't remember the name. Mix something. I didn't remember that. They have a lot of his tutorial for mixing and mastering, that it makes me the road a lot easier to work and to understand the plugins that I use, because it's fundamental to have an arsenal of stuff that you know how to use. So it's not 100 plugins that counts. Maybe if you have 10-15 plugins that works for you for each single stuff to do.
Yeah.
So it's better, because you have a less wise choose to do, for example, compression or to do equalization, and not to stay there to choose 30 EQs or like 15 compressors. You end up in a mess, because
absolutely, bro. It's better have less. Better is better sometimes, and also if you know how to use it, it's definitely better. Absolutely.
Yeah. And all comes in with time, because trial and error always pays off, and maybe spending a lot of time, because nothing comes from nothing. You cannot do it anyway.
So sorry, bro, I'm not understand, but you made your knowledge by yourself, or you was to school studying something. I'm not.
No, it's 80% on YouTube, then some private courses that I made with Pretolesi.
Sorry, bro.
And
sorry. Yeah.
And other stuff like future phonic courses or other maybe YouTube channels, but
sure.
The most of the time it was like watching the course or following something, and then try in the studio, trying in the VSTs and in the session what I heard from them. And I can tell everyone to not listen only your music in the studio, but to spend days to listen other guys' music, to listen the music that it sounds good, that it sounds good. So in every situation you are working, even if you had a bad room, or even if you don't have the perfect situation, you make your ears work in there, because you're not also listening every time your stuff, but you listen with like resetted ears
Yeah.
to the good quality music, and then when you are producing, when you are here doing your stuff,
Yeah.
you are doing it with the right calibration, let's say, of the ear. So
Yeah.
it's very very important to also refresh the ears with other music that
Yeah.
you know it sounds good. So when you produce, maybe the first time you press play and you listen something that sound good, then you come back to the session, you press play and you
Shit.
say
What
what
the
the
fuck is happening?
fuck. But it's good, it's good because it makes you work like, okay, I can get there, I want to get there in
Yeah,
some way.
sure.
I need to get there. So your brain start to
Yeah.
move and
Yes.
to try to find solution.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, I'm looking to my question. Look how the technology. This is amazing
Wow.
technology.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
2022, the fucking book.
The best technology.
So you want to start to speak about something about the things about tricks, maybe to reply to the stories that people ask to us
Yeah.
on Instagram in the last days.
Yeah.
We can start to talking about that
Just
maybe.
taking a load. Yeah. I'm just finding all the boxes right here, so we can start. How to achieve the perfect balance within the element of the mix.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. So it's not like rocket science, no.
Yes.
It's a bit easier. So well, we can say that for a good mix, we can start with a solid baseline and solid high end. So when you have a solid baseline and a solid high end and make them balance between one another,
Yeah.
you should balance, you will balance the mid range a lot better, because the lows and the highs are there, and so feeling the center of the spectrum will be better. So it's
Okay.
maybe better to spend a little bit of time at the beginning of the track, like doing some first mixing of the kick, the relationship with the kick and the bass, and then playing with the percussion to make them fit together. When you set all the levels there, so the mid range will be easier to insert all the leads, all the sounds. It will fit very very well.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the main thing to get the mix right. And using a spectrum analyzer always helps, because as you know, no one has the perfect room or the perfect ear, or maybe after some hour working you start losing some attention at some frequencies. So why not to have a visual representation of what you do, no?
Yeah, and also you need
So
to
it's
see and also you need to see the things how it works, absolutely, because you can hear, but there's some little details that you have to see for sure.
Yeah, you have to see you, and also I reconnect to the things that I told you earlier. Listen to other music, look into analyzer while listening to so you have a memory on your visual on how should the main curve of the equalization of the track should be. So when you're back in the session, you're working with that in mind. So it will be a lot easier to have the first balance of the track, and that helps a lot. So big up for a listening session and analyzing also on YouTube. So press play or some music that sounds good, open an analyzer and just listen and look and see how the spectrum moves, how all the professional tracks are maybe smoother in the 3K to 5K area. That is the best sensitive part of the year. It's a good point of starting the perspective of your mix, to have a good reference also in the use of analyzer, because it helps me, it helps everyone. It works, so it makes the jobs a lot easier.
Okay, cool.
And about levels, we can say that if we made kick and bass at minus 12 dB, so having maybe the kick minus 10, bass minus 12 or something, but it's not the precision that counts. So
But
maybe it's half dB less, half dB more on the bass
I have a
level.
question about that. You think that anyway you have to start maybe like as you say like minus 12 for the kick and bass and stuff because you need the headroom after that absolutely. But also
Yeah.
you think that it's good also maybe staying with a less volume like maybe minus 20 is useful is useless you think or could be good or maybe
Yeah, I
there's
don't.
some there's some problem maybe to gain up after that, but I don't think so.
No, because all the doors work in 32 beats floating
Okay.
points, so I think there is no mess with adding up gain
Yeah.
later. But it's more easier to work around the minus 6 or
Yeah.
at least not touching the 0, or
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
putting the limiter and working in that area.
Yeah.
Because at the end you have to squash everything. So if you work to make everything work in that in less dynamic range,
Yeah.
just from the beginning you start with another perspective, because if you're working at minus 20 dB or so, it's easier to do errors because you have a lot of headroom, maybe some sound that are too loud but don't clip or don't smash the master, just because you have a lot of space there.
Yeah.
So I think starting higher in volume, let's say minus 10, minus 12 for the kick and bass, but maybe higher. You can also start with a kick and bass at minus 6.
Okay.
Why not? Because at the end of that, maybe also having an analyzer or a spectroscope that is showing the waveforms and putting the classical limiter on the master to not clip, you will see better if you're around the 0 point. You will see better if you have peaking sounds, if something is too loud. You will notice it better with a bigger waveform if something exceeds that level, than working at a lot of less volume. It will be easier. So working a bit louder, not having the paranoia to clip, because if you're working at loud volume and you are clipping, something is wrong in the mix. So it's better to notice that in that way than working at minus 20, having at the end of the track the big peaks, and you ask yourself, if I drop the volume, if I up the volume 10 dB, where it goes this peak?
Okay.
Goes up in the sky.
Yeah, sure.
So I think it's better working a bit louder and paying more attention with some spectrum analyzer or spectrum scope at the waveform, and looking at peaks and taking everything under control better.
Okay, you can
for having a good mix at the end.
You can suggest us to a good spectrum analyzer, also maybe something free or something also with payment.
Yeah, I have a RME sound card, so wherever it has the RME, the totalizer from RME is it's amazing.
Yeah,
I know people knows it, and for everyone else, you can use the span.
Yeah.
That I also think there is a free version of span. It's very customizable. So with the span, you can use the 1/3 octave, that it gives you a smoother perception of the mix.
Yeah.
And is that option of the very smoothness of the span with the, like I said, 1/3 octave smoothing or something like this.
Yeah.
It makes you see the balance of the mix, because it goes slower. Also, you can adjust in the settings, the span to go slower or faster with the spectrum.
Yeah.
You set it slower, you set it smoother, and also remembering what you listened and seen before with other tracks, you will see the balance and the main frequencies, the relationship between the bass frequencies and the high frequencies
Okay.
curve. You can see it better with a spectrum analyzer like span in a slow mode. So it don't takes like a small portion of time, but it takes a long portion of time to analyze. So everything you see is smooth, and it's
Okay.
better to set the levels, set the main levels of the track that are kick and bass and all the drums to set it correctly. And yeah, this is for span. Also, span is useful if you use with a lot of resolution. That it will show you up all the resonances in the sounds and everything. So you will have a clearer perspective where you need to cut some sound, where it exceeds something. It's very, very useful and easy to use. It's scalable and customizable to view. So it's a very good one. Then I use the Pure Analyzer from Flux.
Yeah.
That is the black one. Maybe I can share it in the screen just to
Sure.
let the people see. This is this one, Pure Analyzer. Now we can see us talking, but you can take a look of that.
Sorry, because I have to put it
Yeah.
inside me. So no,
I wasn't seeing it.
I was doing a post
Okay.
on Facebook also, talking about this live streaming that we are doing. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
now-
this is the flux analyzer that you have here, the frequency analyzer.
Yeah.
You have the stereo field here, and you have all the stereo field from low frequencies to high frequencies. Also, you have some mid side here, true peak, lecture, the mid side over there.
Okay.
It's very useful also for mastering, to setting up the level. But main thing to look in this is the frequency analyzer and then the stereo field here. It's
Okay.
very, very helpful and
No,
it's
but
very useful.
sorry,
I
bro.
think it's the most useful analyzer. This.
Sorry, bro, but I don't understand what is this one on the left. So what is
This?
yeah,
This?
no, the one. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, this one.
This one is the stereo field. Now we are in mono in the microphone.
Okay.
With the stereo field from the lowest frequencies to the highest frequencies.
Okay.
And listening to other stuff music, you will notice maybe 90% of the time that it goes like this. It goes like a tree. So it starts with mono frequencies, bass, kick, and dance, like kind of open up in the side. You can take this at center, side left, side right, no?
Yeah.
So it opens up in the mid-range, also on the sides, and then as you go in the highest frequencies, always closes. So the highest frequencies always are kept in the mid, and are present in the mix. So
and what is
a good mix should look as a tree.
What is
More
what
or
is the
less.
difference between that one and the other one that is on the right?
This one or
No,
this one?
The square.
This.
Yeah, this one.
This little one.
What is this difference between that one and the other one?
Yeah, this is a vector scope, so it shows the mono and the stereo on all the signal.
Okay.
These show you the mono and the stereo with the frequencies. So it's
okay. Split it
Yeah.
in all the frequency. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see better. This is for the overall stereo image.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And this is for more specific frequency-based.
Okay,
content.
cool.
To take a look, no?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you listen the mix, you see right here that it bounces off to left and right, and you start to ask yourself, wow, what is on the sides on the very low frequencies, no?
Because
here
maybe
you cannot see. You can see also the main stereo of the track.
Yeah. Okay, cool, amazing. And
yeah, this is it's very detailed also in the frequency analyzer. It's very, very nice. You can also zoom in like this or zoom in like that.
Okay.
It's a nice one to take a look. I don't know. I think it's not free, but it costs like 40 euros, I think, or something. Flux. looks analyzer. I think it's cheap.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's a good investment.
Yeah,
By the
sure.
way.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Stop crack fucking plugin, guys. Stop, do that.
Yeah, I also for that reason because I think a lot of people are downloading too much stuff, no, and started to mess with plugins, find the best one, and
Yeah.
but it's not like this that that it works because as I told you before, if you have much less plugins, but the useful ones that you use and the ones that you know to use, you will have a better mix. You will have a clearer mix.
Absolutely.
You will have more confidence in what you do, and at the end of the chains that your processing needs, you will use less plugins in the more directive way, in the more specific way. So
yeah, absolutely.
it's very good to select. Maybe, let's say, maybe I want to crack something. I tried, but if I use it, I want to buy it because it's my it's my stuff. So why not helping the companies to make good stuff?
Yeah, first, and also there's a lot of
I'm on that side.
No, yeah, absolutely, and also crack things maybe sometimes doesn't work, and
maybe fucks up the PC also.
Oh yeah, oh shit, yeah, bro. This would be fucking hectic, bro. Yes. And
so
what?
Yeah, maybe we can go forward in the questions.
Oh yeah,
Let's
sure.
see.
If there's nothing to speak about more about that plugin, why not?
Yeah, for getting the first mix, what was the perfect balance within the elements. So well, we can talk a little bit more about this also, I think. So after balancing all the kick and bass and percussions, how to balance the mid-range or how to make space to the sounds in the mid-range. So a very useful thing is sidechaining. So sidechaining, creative sidechaining, I think is the right word to say.
Okay.
So sidechaining in the mid-range, but also sidechaining first in the percussions. So to work well, a percussion group or all the percussion needs a bit of bassing, a bit of grouping, and make the sidechain interesting. So, for example, having the closed hi-hat ducked down by the open hi-hat.
Okay.
So it just creates the right groove between the two. Then you can make a group with closed hi-hats and open hi-hats working together, make like a heads group. And then when you have the snare, you adding to another group. Maybe if you have a few layers of the snare, you can make another group. And then you can start sidechaining the hi-hat group, to the snare. So when the snare comes up, a bit of ducking happens on the open and closed hi-hat, and then you create another bit of grooving. We are talking about 1 to 3 dB of ducking in the sidechain. So very fast attack, very fast release, just to make space to the transient that is adding the snare, because it will slap on the open hi-hat and on the closed hi-hat. And with the sidechain, with these sidechain tricks, you will have a more clearer percussion group. Then when you make all this stuff working, maybe you could add a loop in and out, or you can make a group for the loops, for the top loops, and make them sidechained by the snare, because it's also needs to stay in the groove, and should be I think the main element to come out. No, between all the percussion, you need the snare to always to be in the front. So sidechaining and ducking stuff a little bit in the high range of the frequencies, it makes it clearer. It makes it with less peaks. You will have more groovy, and you can start experimenting with how much gain reduction to give, no? To maybe have some more ducking or less ducking. It's also depend on the personal taste, this one.
Also, absolutely.
Yeah, this is for the high percussion, the side chaining tricks that are working very good in the to make a good groove, to make a solid groove.
Yeah.
And for the mid range, you could do the side chaining with selecting a band. When you have the mix done, so let's say you also have made the groups, the lead group, the Atmo group, and
Hello,
everything.
motherfucker.
Woo! Thanks
Hello.
for the follow.
What's up?
Welcome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost the name.
Hi, man.
What is the chat? Doesn't work. What the fuck?
I cannot see the chat, man.
Oh no! Wait a second. I can
Yeah.
see it. No. Oh, wait a second. Let me do really quick things because if I don't, I can see that. I can see. Okay. Thanks for the follow too. Wait a second. Let's. Kuribo. Thanks for the follow, Kuribo. Really thank you and welcome. Okay. Yeah, we can go for we can go forward and bro.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
here.
no,
I'm here.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was lost the connection just for a second.
Okay. Shit.
So yeah, we were talking about side chaining in the mid range.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we end up with a mix that it's bit of you have sometimes a lot of stuff in the mid range to control. No,
Yeah.
maybe you look to compression, to cut with the EQs and something, but also here you can use the side chaining with something like a multi-band compressor, selecting, for example, to make all the leads more present in the mix or more
Yeah.
forward in the mix respect to the Atmos group or to the effects group. You can try to find the best band, like we say in the high frequency or mid high frequencies, let's say to 800 to 2K, when we have the presence of the lead sounds. You can put this compressor on the other groups, let's say on the Atmo group, on the FX group, and make it duck a little bit when the lead plays. So you will have the same volumes, but you will duck the other groups that are interfering maybe a little bit with the lead sounds.
Yeah.
Just when the lead plays, so it's just like a volume knob in a selected area of the mix.
Okay.
And it can depend. It could be from 1K to 2K if you listen that it's that problematic area.
Yeah.
It could be from 800 to 3K, but it depends on every mix. But also this trick is very useful for make space to the sound. You can do it on the groups to make them interact better with each other.
Yeah.
You could also make that within let's say two leads or two sound that are a bit conflicting. No, maybe they play together. Some sound, each one of the sound has the main present in a selected frequency range. So
Yeah.
For make them clearer and better, you can also apply sidechain between them. Let's say I have two leads. The one that it should stay on the front,
Yeah.
I sidechain the other one to this only in the like I said in a specific frequency range.
Okay.
So it's all about volume, and also here you could use a fast attack and let's say a medium release or fast medium release to make them to make the sidechain not so pumping but a bit smoother.
Yeah.
And yeah, you achieve a clearer result than staying there or applying a static EQ, because you will cut something that maybe a minute later shouldn't be cutted, no? So with sidechain, you're just controlling better the dynamics also in the mid-range. So creating an interesting link of sidechain between sounds and at the end in the group section, it will help a lot with a clearer mix.
And there's a
will
compression
have
that
really a lot.
there's a compressor that you want to suggest us about that, or because usually
Yeah,
I use to do docking and stuffs in Ableton. I use the native one because I think that
yeah.
it's not really complex about, or maybe I don't think that
No, no,
you
no.
need a
It could work.
really. But I don't know. Maybe you
It
know.
it could work that for simple side chaining, for example, for the percussion stuff. No, that you take all the signal down. And also, I use the Cubase native one
Yeah.
for that
Okay.
task. But for multi-band side chaining, I can suggest the MB from Fab Filter. That is the most
Yeah.
known
Yeah. Yeah.
multi-band.
Yeah.
And then
Absolutely.
also the wave ones are good, but I think Pro MB could be the
What is the what
the
is the
perfect guy to do it.
what is the one about from Waves? I forgot. I don't remember. What is
What the waves?
the you say the Waves one. You say the Waves.
The waves are the C4 or the C6.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
the,
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That you
Okay.
can select, like in Pro MB, you can select only one band with external sidechain, and then
Yeah.
adjusting the range of sidechaining and everything. Also, I must add something to the group sidechaining. Also here, it's not necessary like 6 dB of reduction, because otherwise it will mess up with a mix that you made. It's just here 1 to 3 dB. It's just to balance. If
Yeah.
you need to do more sidechaining, that let's say 3 dB, you should take a step back into the mix and
Yeah.
maybe look at the frequency spectrum of the lead or the other conflicting element, and then maybe take them down a little bit with a static EQ or something to make the sidechain work in that 2 or 3 dB range.
Okay.
So it's very important also that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's very, very important.
Anyway, to the chat.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want
le-
to say to
uh,
the chat, if you
Oh,
have
yeah.
if you have some question, stuff to ask, feel free to ask to us, because we have
Yeah, guys.
we have already some question, but we are open to answer to all the question that you want. So that's good.
Yeah, guys. Feel free to ask me everything, because
Let's
I'm here for
go.
this.
Let's go.
Another thing that I could suggest for the side chaining, I think is one of the best tricks that I also do, is to side chain everything.
Yeah.
Like make a big group of everything except the percussions
Yeah.
and except the bass line,
Yeah.
obviously, and sidechain all this chunk of sounds to the kick.
Mm. Okay.
So it makes it puncher.
Yeah.
It makes the transient of the kick to pop out a little more.
Yeah.
Also here we are talking about 1, 2 dB. 2 dB, it will be,
Yeah.
it
Obviously.
make a big difference, because you're ducking everything in the portion of the transient of the kick.
Yeah.
So also here is a fast ducking,
Yeah.
fast attack, fast release, just to make the kick to
Really
pop out
clean
a little bit more. It's
and give him his space, or maybe not
yeah,
his space,
yeah,
but
yeah.
to bring him out more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also.
It works fine, and it works well when you end up the mix. Maybe you try to push the volume a little bit, and you feel the kick transient gets a bit lost. So you could do this kind of ducking at the end of the mix, and you also can do this kind of ducking at the end of the mix, ducking all the percussion group to the kick.
Okay.
Because on the kick, when it hits the kick, you will have the closed hi-hat, the open hi-hat. On other 2 bars, you have the snare. Maybe you have some stuff from the loose going.
Yeah.
So even if you have balanced everything between the high frequency range, maybe, but this you can see at the end of the mix, you could need some ducking to the kick. So just when the kick hits, all this chunk of percussion group, it ducks a little bit, ducks like 1 dB or something, just to make the final shape without picking. So it's also here is a very fast ducking. So you just duck the transient part of the sound. So
Yeah.
it feels complicated to do all this ducking, but it just when you enter this kind of mechanism, it's a lot easier to have a clearer mix because
Yeah, or maybe,
you're not touching equalizer, you're not touching you're just doing with volume, automated
yeah,
volume
and
and
also
ducking.
maybe it could be interesting. Maybe have or doing a kind of template from the beginning. Maybe doing a template with already the groups with maybe already there
Yeah,
some compressor,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
you don't have to remember every time. Okay, I have to duck that one. I have to do a ducking on that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can do it. It's already do. It's better. Could be
Yeah, 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 yeah,
interesting.
yeah. You could make like a template of the to
Yeah,
start the track, just to have the less work to do later because
yeah,
the side chain interaction more or less are these. So
yeah,
open hi-hat to close the hi-hat, the snare is ducking them too, and like this. No, at
yeah,
the end of the mix, you could make the decisions of the ducking between the groups with a frequency selection. No,
yeah, yeah.
but
Sure.
all the other compressor and all the other groups and stuff, you could just have it in a template to work faster and to have the better organized project. So
Yeah.
you will work more relaxed.
Yeah, and
It's easier to work.
and don't forget
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
things. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This I think could be the answer of the
Let's
how to
go.
balance.
Let's go with another question. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's see what we have here. Percussion treatment. Percussion treatment. So about percussion treatment, I will not be so long because we all have a lot of sample packs today to work on.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are struggling to make the percussion work, but I have listened a lot of sample packs that are on the market today that are really
Yeah.
good. So the percussion treatment or the percussion processing is more like make the good elements that you have in the sample packs to
Yeah.
work them well together, other than taking a sample that is 90% of the time has been already processed, and
Yeah.
then putting compression, putting equalizer, putting saturation, putting too much stuff because they've been already treated
Done. Yeah.
unless you are using a classic like tier 8 sample or drum machine sample that needs treatment to first sound good and then to be used in the track. So my suggestion is spend a bit more time selecting the right sample that works well together,
Yeah.
then equalize them a little bit just with a Pro Q, removing some resonances here and there, not too
Yeah.
much, because if you stay there making like 5, 6, 8 bells of cutting the little resonances, then you lose the tonality of the sound, so
Yeah.
it will become useless. um, this needs to be done in the other way. You should
Okay.
look at the sound, you should look at the resonances that are present, maybe in the hi-hats, and I think that's what I do. It's to take like 2 or maximum 3 points of resonances, and with a Pro Q or dynamic EQ to like make a little spikes and just take them out a
Okay.
little bit, just to make them disappear,
Okay.
not to lose the timbre of the sound. So that's the first things to do in the percussion section.
So guys, pay attention and don't fucking work too much on that shit, okay guys?
Yeah, don't over process the elements, guys.
Don't fucking overprocess, motherfuckers!
Don't do it. We will shut you out.
No.
So yeah, this is the first thing to do, and maybe also a low cut in the percussion could be done. Could be
Yeah.
done in the single elements if needed, or could be done at the end in the group. So you only have maybe one EQ cutting the low end, and maybe if you see there is more low end to cut, you can add a low shelf or something more smooth in the single sound. But
Okay.
so sometimes if you have processed samples, as a lot of sample packs are
Already
we use
done.
today are like this, you don't even need to low cut every single percussion bed, because
Yeah.
it will mess up a little bit with the phase, and maybe you're cutting something that has been cutted before. So
Yeah. It's
maybe
useless.
better low shelf or
Okay.
something more smooth.
Okay. Cool.
And this is the first part. So after this, you could balance the volumes. Let's say we start with a closed hi-hat with a kick bass playing. You had the open hi-hat starting from volume 0 and make it pop out, adding the snare, and then you can start working on the side chaining and everything.
Okay.
If we see that something like covering of frequency, when we had all the percussion together, that it sounds a bit harsh or something,
sorry. Big
you
up.
should
Big up for Jackie Changa. Welcome, bro. How are you, my brother?
hi Jackie Changa.
Sorry, man, for the interruption. Sorry.
No. Yeah, you should look for the harsh frequencies and maybe do a little bell cuts in the highest frequency range. So, but this kind of cuts that are smooth and are little ones, you make them when you have all the elements of the percussion working together, and you just need to have the perspective to have the perception of, if I'm adding the open hi-hat, let's say, what I lose in the closed hi-hat, or what is the frequency that I need to cut if I add the open hi-hat and it starts sounding harsh. And then you start maybe like having 2 equalizer open, one on the closed hi-hat, one on the open hi-hat, and trying to make just little bells, little cuts, sweeping a little bit in the high frequency range. And then you see when the harshness comes out, or when the harshness comes in, if you make little boosts in some parts of the spectrum, and then is the moment to make the decision to make these little cuts.
Okay.
But my advice is to spend a bit of time to select the one or two cuts to do, instead of doing like 6, 7 bells here, there, boosting, cutting, because as I told you before, the percussion and the elements are just treated. So you just need to make those little moves to make work them together. So
okay.
And after doing this, that is like it's only an equalizer, so it's not rocket science.
Okay.
After doing this, you can check the clippers. You can look for clipping something.
Wait a second.
Let's say
sorry if I interrupt you, but I don't know if you saw in the chat that Jackie asking to ask something about clipping. Maybe you can connect your answer.
I don't see the chat, man.
You can.
I cannot see the chat.
No, on StreamYard, no.
No, I cannot see it.
Fuck, why not? Wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's there. Are you sure?
No, man. I'm making big screen. Yeah, I'm a full screen, but I cannot see.
Okay,
it.
I will.
Okay. Yeah.
So he say, what about clipping? You use it on all elements, or you leave some untouched?
Well, you should look at the waveforms, and then you can evaluate where to apply clipping and how much to apply. So let's say you have the vector scope of the frequency, like a frequency analyzer that is running. You're running it all the percussion group, and then you see some high peaks of summing between the various percussion. And if you are in that situation, you can put a clipper on the group, or maybe you can put before a clipper on the group of the closed and open hi-hat that are working together. Maybe they're making a little spike on the transient, and you can hard clip them just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because hard clipping just cuts the first peaks without like a kind of attack, because soft clipping, it has a smoother curve, so it works better in other kinds of sound, maybe in leads, maybe in some more longer sound that needs to be shaped smoothly
Okay.
than the percussion. So yeah, clipping saves the headroom, save the peaks that you will have in the final mix. And yeah, you just need to look at the waveforms that you are going to clip or not, and you have to see the relationship between the RMS part and the peaking part of the sound. That could be a percussion, or it could be a lead. You should have a good relationship and not too much peak or difference between the RMS part and the peaking part of the sound. If you have too much of this distance, you can try to look at the clipper and start clipping a little bit. It will save the mix. It will save also the overlapping of the leads and the overlapping of the peak of the leads together. Maybe if they are going in the same moment. So also here you could start with clipping a little bit. Let's say 1 to 2 dB. And maybe exporting the sound, bouncing the sound, even if it's the percussion or lead or what you want to call it. Maybe you have a one-shot sound that it has like a sharp transient at the beginning, and then it goes smoothly down. Okay. You want to reduce that level at the beginning to make them more cohesive in the mix, and you could use clipping also there, but you just clip something. You do like mute, unmute the clipper.
Yeah.
You can go a little bit further until you start hearing distortion. Then you bring it a little back. You make mute, unmute a few times, and you will see that it doesn't change anything. So when you are at that point, this is the right amount of clipping to apply, because you are shaving off the first peaks in the most transparent way, because the clipper, it doesn't has attack. The clippers, if it finds a waveform that is too high, it just cuts off.
Okay.
And yeah, most of the time it happens in the intersample level of the peaks. So if you see like a waveform of the lead, you will see all the peaks. If you zoom in, you will see that all the big peaks at the end are just like 1 millisecond or 2 milliseconds of time.
Yeah.
So it's better to clip it and to adjust it to stay down.
Okay.
You won't hear the difference. You will have more big chunks of sound. You also need to clip with caution, not to do it too much, but it's a very, very helpful technique to reduce those peak levels without touching the naturality of the sound. Yeah.
I can say an Italian thing.
Yeah.
Clipparli tutti, clipparli poco.
Clipparli tutti.
Clipping all, clipping not. So how to say in English? Clipping all.
Yeah. Clip everything, but not so much.
Yeah.
It could work with the majority of the sound. Let's say hard clipping with percussive elements or one-shot sounds that have like an high transient and then tail to reduce that level and to make more like sausage stuff. And maybe soft clipping with the longer sound, or maybe with some leads that are too crispy and that maybe the resonant part of the lead is making the peak high. Yeah. Then you could use the soft clipping. So other than reducing the peak, you are smoothing out that section, because soft clipping, it doesn't cuts, it just has a curve like this, like It's not squared. It's like more softer. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for the high resonance leads, it could work better the soft clipping. It's very useful technique to try. There's a bit of tutorials also on YouTube. Some people made some good stuff about clipping. I think there is glitch. There is Baphometrics. There is more
Dash.
specific
Yeah,
channel.
yeah. We talked with Dash in the last podcast, and also he was with us, and we had talked about the video, the tutorial that he do about Clipper. So to be honest, after seeing this video, I bought definitely directly the Clipper. I don't remember the name.
The standard clip.
Yeah.
Standard clip.
Yeah, yeah. It's so fucking
For
amazing.
everyone, standard clip is I think is the best one, the more transparent, and it's cheap. It works fine. It's not heavy on the CPU, and does the job very well. So
Yeah, it's so
I
cool.
think it's a good one to use.
And also, I had the same problem in the beginning, not in the beginning, but before start to clipping too. I never do that, to be honest. Or maybe I tried. I tried to do with Saturn, but I don't think it's the same things. Or maybe it's really different. It's another.
With Saturn, it's you have the algorithm of broken tube.
Okay.
That it does similar to clipping. It could work very well with the percussion to smooth out the transient. So if you would not, if you want clip, you can use Saturn in some elements of the percussion just to see with a broken tube like at 9%, 10%, to just to apply that. You will see that the peak level of the sound it will drops, but it's more it's more to smooth out the stuff other than clip.
Yeah.
So it changes a little bit the behavior of the sound. So.
But anyway, yes, as I told you, as I was saying, I had this problem with my picks because I had every time a lot of picks going. Also, I do really a lot of crispy sound and really crunchy sound. So every time I had this problem about that, you know, every time clipping with, as you say, milliseconds of sound that really going. So now I start to do
not
that.
Going too much
really,
higher in the Yeah, so as we talk in private, and as you've seen by yourself, the use of clipping, it's magic.
It's
magic because
amazing.
you don't change the behavior of the sound. You're just controlling all the peaks that are summing together, or all the peaks that if are there or not there, or are clipped, it doesn't change anything. So better to shave off without fear until you can try the clipper for everyone. You can try to clip until it distorts, so you can clearly see how much you can do. So maybe some sound, if they are clipped 4 dB, they are fine. Maybe some other sound, if you clip 4 dB, you have destroyed them. So for everything in a mixing, just overdo a little bit and then come back. So you see, you have like, okay, that's my ceiling point where I can apply clipping. Okay, let's do it a little bit less until it's natural or until it's fine, and it will be good. So it will eliminate all the problems also that we'll have in the masterings, or the peaks that are there that makes the compression work where it doesn't need to work, because there are all the peaks if are reduced with clipping before the final stage, you will have like more like a sawchest stuff. So when you send it to mastering, it will be easier for me or for other guys to do the final stage or the final adjustment, and to make the final compression or final clipping or final limiting just in a light way. So clipping is it's a good thing to do, a good thing to learn, but it's very easy at the end.
But you have to use it properly.
But for people that are there struggling with compression, color compression or something, it could be used. But for controlling the dynamics of the sound, you you will be fine with one compressor, one multi-band compressor, and one clipper. So it's not needed like 30 elements or 30 VST to control the sound.
Yeah, sure.
One other good VST to take a look to control all these peaks is SUF 2. That is a resonant suppressor, and it's very, very good for resonant sound. Just to use it before the clipping stage, and also that one you could go very far with this, because it eliminates like it's like a Pro Q3 with unlimited dynamic bands. You will set the threshold, you will set how much reduction to apply in the specific frequency ranges. And with that, before clipping, you just make the clipper work a bit less, and just you're just controlling a bit the harshness of some sound or resonances that are occurring in the mix. So this is another good one. It costs a little bit, but it's one of the essentials, I think, because you can do a lot. You can control a lot of difficult sound with that before going to the clipping stage. So it's a very useful one also.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's go with the other question.
Let's see. Controlling dynamics the clearest way possible. Yeah, it's. I think we also answered this one with the clipping, or in general is don't over process. Don't let's say if you are processing one lead and you have 10 plugins of the chain that are maybe there are some effects or some other stuff, you have to consider too much stuff in the chain is when you have like 5 equalizers or 4 compressors. Too much stuff. So clearest way possible is to have in mind to have the clear perspective of what you want to do to that sound, and to be able to choose the right VST to do that. That is maybe to need to be an equalizer or a compressor, but it's always better to have less stuff working at getting to the point, because otherwise if you see that you are using too much stuff, maybe you should ask yourself, is this sound good for this track, or am I using a shitty sound and I'm trying to make it good until I broke myself in some way.
Also because maybe it's a really shit sound maybe from the beginning, so maybe you better to start with a new sound.
Yeah. In some cases it's like this. Maybe you are trying to treat a sound in 100 ways and it doesn't come out. Okay, it's the wrong sound. Same thing for the percussion, no? Let's say you made all the percussion working together, no? But after some time in the mix, you find that you are going to process the open hat more and more, for example, or another element of the percussion. If you are at that point, if you see too much plugin in one single sound, just stop and let's say, okay, this open hat is not good for that track. Let's not process it at 10 times or 100 times to make it sound good. Sometimes it goes like this. So
and also
just having this perspective in mind, it helps a lot.
And also maybe there's nothing that you can do with equalizing and compression that can change a sound that doesn't work, or you can't add something. Yeah,
maybe it's not the right sound for that note, or it doesn't work well with the other elements of the mix. So it could happen, and if you are able to accept it, even if you spent a lot of time with it but it doesn't work, eliminate new sound or new percussion and go forward. But it needs to be a fast process. If you are adding 3-4 stuff, 3-4 VST to a sound and you're still not there, maybe it's the wrong one. So
no, absolutely, I agree.
Check another one and go forward. So it's the best thing to do to not get lost in the mix and not losing time, because most of the people have their full-time jobs or not have all the time to stay in the studio,
to get crazy with
yeah, with processing,
Yeah.
or zip compression.
No way. No way. No shit.
This is other stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, this was for laughing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Corrosing collective spectrum analyzer. Enhancement of the sounds.
Yeah.
So enhancement of the sounds. Well, also here we could start from the beginning. If it's a synthesized sound, you should synthesize it well, or you should use a good patch, because if you're starting from a bad sound from the beginning, you end up putting a lot of processing of saturation and stuff in the chain, and maybe you won't get the perfect result. So for everything, it's good to choose the right sound from the beginning. To enhance the sound that you already have, you could go with some saturation, maybe some tube saturation or tape saturation that you could use into Saturn. And I suggest not to start with the 100% wet, but also here you could drive it a little bit, the Saturn of whatever saturator you are going to use to add some harmonic.
Yeah.
Going into distortion also here, going a little bit back until it sounds more natural, and then you could bring back a bit of dry signal using the dry wet knob in the VST.
Okay.
So you will have the main sound. You will have this layer of saturation coming in, but you not overdoing it, because you're playing with the dry wet.
Yeah.
This is very important, because you should have the perspective that if you are enhancing all the sounds in the mix and adding harmonics and stuff, you will end up with a big chunk of frequency.
Yeah.
Let's say the big chunk of mid-range that is not defined enough to be sharp.
Yeah.
And to be pleasant to the ear. Maybe you end up with a big chunk of sounds oversaturated, or maybe oversaturated by itself, and then you add them together and you end up with too much saturation, too much cream in the mix.
Yeah.
So it's very important to be light in the saturation stage to enhance the sound. This is very important.
But I have a question for you, maybe, well, not a question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between an enhancer and a distortion? Yeah, like, what is the difference between Vitamin and Saturn, for example?
Yeah, they are saturators. Also, Vitamin is a saturator with the bands.
Yeah.
They just have different behaviors.
Okay.
As you see, also in the Vitamin, you could swipe the bands, but it only has one algorithm.
Okay.
With
Because
the Saturn,
you can change it.
It's also a saturation plugin.
Yeah.
Enhancer plugin. Saturation.
Yeah.
You can call it. It adds only one type of saturation that I don't remember if it's a tube saturation or something. No.
From
it's a bit
Vitamin.
different from the.
Yeah, but also maybe it's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's not so strong. Also, maybe enhance something.
Well, it's smoother. It's smoother, no? As you.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's a bit smoother of the Saturn, but if you drive it a little bit, it could give the sound a lot of life back. Yeah, maybe if you want to add in some specific frequency range a bit of enhancement. And the good thing of Saturn is that you can use the bands to do the saturation. So maybe you only have one part of the spectrum that you want to saturate, and you concentrate in that one. Or maybe you can apply one kind of saturation in the harshness, maybe the broken tube to smooth out,
Yeah.
And then the other part of the spectrum apply like a tube or tape saturation to balance it.
Okay.
So this is the advantage of the Saturn as a main saturator that you can use, because it's easy to use. It has a lot of different algorithms to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. I can suggest just to take a few sound, just try the different tape and tube modes
Okay.
that in the Saturn 2 that you have also you have the clean, but you have also the soft tube, like a less powerful saturation, just subtle, the subtle tube, the subtle tape that is very, very subtle.
Okay.
So yeah, trying the saturation also like the creepers, go into distortion, drive it, going back, and make the saturation to be not invisible, but just to add something to the sound. Unless you have a sound that it really needs to be dry, to be driving up a lot of dBs, or to be driving up a lot of harmonics in.
Yeah.
A trick for the Saturn also could be to use the input output knob of the section of the volume. So maybe you had like 10% of saturation at full mix wet, and then you drive the two knobs on the side to play with the input gain. So if you had a lot of input gain, it saturates the sound more without adding too much saturation or percentage of saturation in the main knob, in the main central knob. It's a different way to use it, but it works good also in this way. And Saturn, if everyone use it, you know it in the low section, when you drive up the input, it automatically slow down the output, so it auto compensates what you're doing, and you will clearly listen when you're driving in a lot of input in the plugin, that it saturates very, very well. Yeah. So Saturn for enhancing of the sound, and it's very, very useful.
Cool.
Very useful plugin to use. And also there is another one that it's Spectre. It's a white one. Let's see if I can find it. The company Spectre, Waste Factory Spectre. That it's a white one plugin, similar to the.
If you want to show us on, if you want, you can also show us.
Oh yeah,
if you can.
I can. Yeah. I can do it in the Spect VST. I can share the Google. Yeah, the Google image. This one. Yeah. Let's see.
Tell me when you're done, and I put it on the stream.
Yeah. I'm arriving. Okay. Slide. No. Condividi. Okay. Let's see. Condividi. Share, and we go in the Chrome Spect VST. Here it is. You could see it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is also a good one to take a look.
Okay.
Audio Spectre.
Okay.
The ultimate enhancer, they say, but yeah, it's a good one. It adds a lot of algorithm to choose, and it's very smooth to use. Sometimes it's useful also to bring the bass harmonic a bit up in the low mids or in the high mids. It's a nice one to take a look.
Okay,
it's a nice one to take a look. This one. Yeah.
And it works. There's bands and stuffs. Yeah.
It works more like an EQ, as you can see. You have this kind of bands that are semi-fixed. I think you
You can move it.
You could deactivate or activate them, but as you can see, it's more visually, it's more like an equalizer, like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
enhancer of the equalizer. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a nice one to do little moves to enhance a bit in the part of the spectrum that are needed. So it's a very good one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and a good thing to do or to check when you are done with the saturation or with the enhancing of the sound is to take a look to the spectrum of the sound again, because sometimes when you're using saturation and adding harmonics to the original sound, it could add also harmonics on the lower parts of the spectrum or higher part of the spectrum that maybe you cut it before with the EQ, but when you're enhancing, they are coming back again. So
but it's true
just
that you have the same things also when you compress.
What
Is true that also when you compress you will have some bass frequencies that come outside?
Yeah, because you are reducing the difference between the peaks and the RMS range. So everything that is down will come up, and everything that is up will come down. So
but doesn't
also there after compression you should take a look to an EQ if you have bring up too much of something.
Okay.
Maybe maybe after compressing something, the sound is good. It's very chunky, but maybe it has a little bit too much of low mids because you are compressing a bit, and then after compression you could have an equalizer and do the 1 or 2 bell moves, dropping down a bit of the frequencies that are conflicting. Same thing with the saturation. After saturation, take a look with one equalizer, one Pro Q. Just make maybe a little sweep up and down with the band selected, and you can hear with the mixes. When the mix is playing, you could do this sweep up and down and check if the sound has gained some more resonance with the saturation, or it has added a lot of frequencies that you don't want in the mix. So just also here that are you need to be like small moves that need to be checked by ear. Need to be checked with maybe with a spectrum analyzer, but I think that is need to be done to stay clear, because it's easy to overdo with the saturation, but it's also easy to not finish the process, because if you are processing a sound, always you are changing something. And sometimes also after using the clippers, that it doesn't change the dynamic of the sound. Maybe another EQ could be useful if you listen that it's something is wrong in the sound after that. It could also be useful that.
Yeah, sure.
And another thing you can look for the after enhancing the sound is the selective multiband compression. Also here, maybe you're driving a bit of saturation into a sound, no? That you can really feel, but maybe let's see, I say, this sound I want to smash the saturator a bit more. You can then, if you not want to EQ it statically or dynamically, you can duck here with using one band of a multi-band compression. You can duck the part that maybe it comes too higher. Maybe you have like a 16 bar loop or 16 bar sound that you have processed, and only in the last 8 bars it comes with some low mids or some stuff that it goes up. Instead of EQing, you add a multi-band, you set the band there, and you make it duck a little bit.
Okay.
So,
nice.
Also here, that we are talking about a lot of stuff. We are talking about using one equalizer, one multiband compressor, and one saturator and one
Yeah,
clipper.
and that's it.
Four VSTs. This is
Yeah.
for mixing. For the compression, for the compressor flavors, I think it's good to try something because there's a lot of good analog emulations out there to compress and
Yeah.
color the sounds, but this is to personal taste. I don't think that is the
A really
that
big
is
change.
the one compression, the one compressor that is like the golden one
Yeah.
of compression. I'm not of that school, so
But
I
I
think
think the same. Or maybe I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
compressor is, or maybe, yeah, there's maybe some better compressor than other, or maybe some compressor that brings some
sure.
good things and stuffs. But I think that the more of the work you have to do it like in sound design, and so I don't think that there's a really, and also I don't think that no one in the dance floor will fucking listen the difference between a compressor and another one.
Yeah. The main aim is to make the track or the sound to sound good. So maybe I'm familiar with one compressor. Maybe another one is familiar with another one, or it works well with this sound design. But there is no secret compressors or something. There are good ones where we can mention Fab Filter. We can mention something from acoustic audio that makes good plugins. Are a bit heavy on the CPU, but there are a few good equalizer to check out. They made good analog emulations, and also the Kush audio, like Kush, like with, because Kush audio makes very very good compressor that has a lot of flavors in it, and just dropping one of them on a sound, it has a bit of harmonic, so it like compressing and enhancing in the same plugin.
Yeah.
So it's very useful stuff also to check out.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see the box here. Okay, expansion versus compression.
Why versus first? Because I think that are two different things, or maybe.
Yeah. It's the opposite. When you compress, you just bring everything down after the attack time and then releasing it. With expansion, it's the reverse. So after the attack time, you bring everything up and then you have the release. So I think that expansion could be useful in 2 or 3 situations. The first one could be with after clipping. Maybe you're doing the clipping, in the main group of the percussion. You make it a little bit squared, but it sounds good, no?
Yeah.
Because until it breaks, it could sound good, but it could be a little bit squared, or you're losing maybe a bit of transient. You can do a trick if it's fine with the clipping and it doesn't distort. You can do a trick with the expansion, with like the Pro MB. You can add one Pro MB on the high band. Maybe I can show it in the Cubase here. Yeah. I open up the screen and I say Cubase. Hello, where is that? Cubase project. Why is not showing there? Oh, Cubase project. Here it is. Let's see. Okay, if we can see it. You can see the window with the plugin, man.
Wait a second. Yes.
The Pro MB, no. No. Okay, I share the screen.
You have maybe the entire screen to see the plugins.
Yeah. Wait, just a second. Screen 2. Okay. Okay, now we can see it. Yeah. You can do expansion tricks like this. You can put let's put the audio down so it doesn't molestate as much and see if it works. Okay, let's make a little loop of the track when it's the percussion. Okay. Why it's not working here? We have no sound. What?
Are you sharing the sound, right? No?
No, but it's not showing anything in the Pro MB. I don't know
okay.
why. It doesn't go like this. Let's see. Analog 1, 2. Let's change. Let's try. No. Why doesn't go? Okay. So why it doesn't works? Let's see here. No. Let's try with another track. Yeah. Let's try with this one. No, it's because I'm using voice meter.
Okay.
It doesn't show up. Yeah, it doesn't work in Cubase. Yeah, doesn't. We cannot. But I can show it anyway. So you can do this kind of expansion with the Pro MB.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I come back in the stream. Let's share the Cubase again. Cubase. Okay. You can do expansion on the I band.
Yeah.
Like this. So it will go up. I made it manually. It will go like this. And it will push up a bit the transient that you shaved with a clipping. So it's very useful to use. We're starting with the 0 attack, so it catches the transient up, and then maybe playing a bit with the release stage in base of the how much release do I want, how much sharp I want the transient. And this maybe is useful to do with the headphones or with something that you have confidence in, because these are small moves that you do maybe at the end of the mix.
Yeah.
So you need to be careful with that, because
like
if you expand too much, you will get too much transient. If you expanding not enough, you are losing something in the sound. So it should be a good compromise, but 1 to 3 dB of expansion in the high frequency range is it's a good starting point to make it work. To make it work good. So this could be a trick. Another trick could be with a mid-range.
Yeah.
Let's say I have a lead, or I have a sound that is not punching enough in the mid-range, or in this area of 1 to 3K, or the most sensitive area. Doesn't have transient.
Yeah, sure.
So expansion could help. Could help in this way. Could help to bring the transient a bit up if you feel that the element is it's losing in the mix, and or is too much in the background and doesn't have the right spike to cut through the mix.
Yeah.
This you can evaluate it after you've done compression. Or after you're doing all the treatments. You could use expansion as the last treatment to bring back a bit of transient if you lost something during the processing. This is a good way to expand, and this is I think is just the two way that I use it, because
cool.
It's It's a simple, it's simple to use expansion, and it's useful also just in these cases when you need to have a bit more of transient. And yeah, at the reverse compression, as we talked earlier, is it's another way instead of clipping to control the mix.
Okay.
So compression, respect to clipping, it does have the threshold.
Yeah.
So when it comes in,
If you want to open
and
also
al-
the clip, the standard clip, also maybe it could be interesting to see it
yeah,
for
yeah,
to have a compare.
it is this one. Another clip. What's up, Echo?
Yeah.
Here it is. Here it is, the standard clip. So yeah, as you can see, a normal clipper, you only have the clip section. So
Yeah.
when it's like the threshold of the clip.
Yeah.
So when it starts working, and then it's you just have the line of the clip. You don't have, even if you are soft clipping, you don't have attack or release. When you reach the threshold, it clips, it squares, it cuts the sound.
Yeah.
Just in the soft clipping mode, it acts more like a compression, but also here you don't have attack or release. So it starts maybe here lower, as you can see with the when I can change the curve, it starts lower, but it starts immediately
Yeah.
to clip in
Yeah.
this case. So it's more of a clearer way to control the sound. The compression could work before the clipping stage if you want to achieve a bit more RMS of the sound, but you can try it at home if you're using a compressor and if you're setting the attack to the minimum like this. You will have just a bit of transit that comes out, and then it comes in the clipper.
Yeah.
So everything that is not treated by the compressor, like the initial peaks that are there, or maybe that you want to leave there, adding a bit of attack and not distracting the sound,
Yeah.
you can use the clipper later to treat those transient after you add the meat with the compression, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a good combination of compression and clipping that makes the leads or all the sound that need to be treated, that makes it chunky,
Yeah.
that makes the transient a bit controlled. And yeah, in the compression stage, you should always take a look to also to the release stage.
Okay.
Here in the Pro MB, you have it in the percentage, but
Okay.
in the most of the compressor like Pro C or something else, you will have in milliseconds. Let's see, here it is. So you will have in milliseconds, and you should know how many milliseconds is, let's say, 150 BPMs.
Yeah.
Let's go at bar 1, and you know that 400 milliseconds, it's 1 bar.
Okay. Okay.
116, it's 100 milliseconds.
Okay.
So these need to be taken in consideration when you use the release time.
Okay.
So, for example, you are treating percussions, or you are treating short sounds that happen in a portion of this, in this section, or in a portion of 16.
Yeah.
So you need to have in mind that 100 millisecond is this. So if you have like a percussion loop or something, you should aim for like 50 millisecond release or less. Or if you have like a bigger sound, you could aim for 200 millisecond release. But all depending on and taking a look when does happen this sound again. Does my release time is short enough to reset before the next hit of the sound?
Yeah.
So it's very important to compress maybe a bit more with a faster release to make the compressor recover faster.
Yeah.
And not to lose the next peak or the next transient to
Yeah,
duck.
sure.
So it works smoothly, and it resets each time it starts working. Otherwise, it starts compressing with the first peak and doesn't have the time to reset properly the curve because
Yeah.
the release time is too high. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing to take into consideration to at the starting of the mix to
Yeah.
look at the BPM and just make like a paper or something that 100 millisecond is a half bar, 400 millisecond is this, no? And
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
setting up the compression, the release stage in the compression, you can properly set it to make it reset each time before the next hit of the sound. It is very
Okay.
important to make a clear compression.
Okay. Nice.
So and another useful thing that I could show you rapidly is this sidechain function in the Pro C2.
Okay.
So as the Pro MB, you could have you could compress just a part of the sound. If you don't want to open a Pro MB every time, you could also use it do it in the Pro C. Just selecting the band, maybe go into audition mode to listen what you're doing, or to listen the part of the sound that you are compressing, and then dial in with the threshold and everything to make the compression work. It's like the stuff we do with the Pro MB, but just in a small section of sound, or maybe we have some sibilance that we need to take out. So
to control.
it's another way to using Pro C in a more specific way. So
sure.
it's another good thing to do to open the sidechain and use it also. It also like this.
Yeah.
So nice. And it works in stereo mode. It works in the mid side also.
Yeah.
So for example, you have a lead, or you have something that it's eating too much in the mid. You could drop this stereo link, as you can see. If I go this way, it goes in mid only mode.
Yeah.
So you will compress only the mid section.
Yeah.
Or maybe you made a sound with a lot of reverb or a lot of stuff that goes to the sides, and maybe you want to compress the side a bit because maybe they go too far in the stereo image, and you could go another way. You can select side here, maybe using the entire band of the sidechain like this. You can drop it to the side, so you are compressing only the side only. So you have this big sound with the delays or something that is pushing too much the side, or is occupying too much the stereo field, and you could go for the compression only on the side. This compression mode, I think, is better to use it with a faster attack and maybe a slower release. To make it more smoother, because you're ducking the reverb tails, or or the reverbs, or the delays, or the stuff that is on the side, that it's not the transient material that most of the time is more in the mid. So you could have the side a bit more control in this way. So very useful also to control also only the mid, or only the side channel. It's a very good one, Pro C, to do this stuff.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, also there's the same thing about also in Pro Q about equalizing mid and side. There's the same thing.
Yeah. We'll open up right now. Here it is. And also, this is the most used and the EQ that I use more.
Yeah.
So it
Me
has
too.
static curves. It has dynamic curves that reacts really, really well with the different materials. I think is the only one EQ that reacts this good to different kind of material.
Yeah.
For example, if you do a band in the mid section and you have a lead, it reacts in a way. If you have a more percussive sound, it will react in another way, but it in a good way. So it kind of know what you're going to play, and do the dynamic compression, dynamic ducking, what we can call it, in a right way, in a very musical way. I would say.
The only one thing is about when you boost a little bit or cut and you do a really short bell, it's like it sounds really, there's do bring a lot of resonance. I don't think it's so good, but and you know, also if you change zero latency on other stuff, doesn't work every time you have a resonance. Also when I do that with the bass line or
but so, you are talking only for boosting like
when
this.
I boost, but also when you cut. Also, if you cut, it is the same way.
When you cut like this,
you can hear a fucking resonance, and you have to open the bell every time. Also, when I do like in the bass line, when I boost the tones, not the tones, the fundamentals. Also, maybe. Sounds like that, and I don't know why. And also, if you change the algorithm about like zero latency and stuff, it doesn't change.
So that's why I think, because in the low frequency spectrum, it's better to go broad line. Because the waveforms that you are treating are bigger. So if you go sharp, too much sharp, it will cause some interference with this big waveform that are in the low frequencies. You can go sharper in the cuts or in the boosts in the high frequency range, because the waveforms are a bit more steep, are a bit smaller, and it will notice less than do it like a cut or a boost like this in a big waveform. The main rule is to cut with a small bell, and to boost with an high bell, with a more smoother one. No, this is the main rule. So also in the high areas, but as you know, maybe let's do it full screen like this, so the people can see more. Also in the high areas, it's useful to boost a bit like this, or make smaller boosts make sense, because the sounds and the waveform are smaller. So it could have sense. It couldn't have sense a boost like this, I think, in 200 Hz, a boost like this, or here. It doesn't have too much sense to me, because the waveforms are still big, are still big enough to be treated in a more smooth way. This goes for the boost section. When you are cutting, if you're not in this first part of the spectrum, that you could go with broad strokes, even if you're low cutting or shelving stuff, that you're going mainly like broad stuff like this, instead of little bells. In the high frequency spectrum, is better to cut smaller, and to boost broadly. So the result is more natural, I think. It's more natural. But the general rule, if you can stay within a EQ, if you can stay broadly like this for the cuts, and even for the boost, the result is more musical. Because you know, it's like a painting, no?
Sure.
If you do it smoothly, it will result smoothly. If you do a lot of small
no, it's not
or
good,
another
absolutely
cut or something, you know.
No.
It doesn't benefit too much the sound. So
sure.
These sharp cuts or something more steep, it could be used, like I said earlier, to control the resonances of the sound. But this mainly happens in the high frequency range, or in the mid section here, when maybe you have you made the lead, and you have the first like we say fundamental or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
The first harmonics of the lead there maybe are pushing a bit too much in the low mids, and here a sharp bell could work to control it. Or maybe you have some atmospheric sound that has a bit of harmonics in the lower mid range. Instead of staying there looking at the right compressor to use, you can simply make a dynamic bell,
Yeah.
drop it a little bit, and control it, and you will see that it's a faster process, it's a clearer process, and you end up, as we said before, using less BSTs and achieving a better result in a faster way.
Okay. So nice.
Yeah, so ProQ is very useful for zero latency, natural phase, linear phase. I can tell that I don't hear a lot of difference. The main difference with these modes is
Yeah.
when you do the low cuts.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You can feel it. You can hear it. Absolutely.
So there is a bit of difference, but I won't stay there to explain because there are a lot of good engineer explaining on YouTube the difference, like Dan Worrell or like Eclipse shows something
Yeah, sure.
about the differences. And for the low cuts, I must say that use it when you really need it, because sometimes when you made your bass working well in the low end area, maybe if you want to tame a bit of the low end without messing up too much with the phase, you just need a low shelf, because it has a broader curve. You could make the Q a bit steeper,
Yeah.
and like darking or reducing like 3, 6 or more dBs without cutting, without changing the phase too much in this area. So it's a more natural way to cut the lows. Also in the leads, maybe as we talked earlier, you saturate a sound and it brings back a bit of harmonics in the lower mids, instead of making another low cut. Oh, you say, wow, some frequencies here, let's low cut it another time. No, why? You can shelf it a little bit. You can go steeper, you can go smoother, whatever the sound needs, but it's not another cut. It's not another mess with the phase in the mid range. Because too much low cuts during the process, they're messing up with the phase also in the mid range. So if a leads sound good in the mid range, you will see that after low cutting, after adding the processing, it will mess up. It could mess up the phase a little bit, and you could start saying, sounds clearer, but maybe I lost some transient, maybe I lost something, with cutting. So my advice is to low cut only when you have a lot of stuff to eliminate there. Otherwise, low shelf and high shelf also work really, really good. For the high cut, I can suggest to do the one and only high cut on the percussion group when you have all the percussion, to go like 20k or 18k. Let's say, let's look at 18k, the high cut. You could see that it starts at 18k, but as you see the curve, the cut goes through 20k. So sometimes the little hissing that is there, it could be removed to have more present in the high end, and to not have some hissing that if it's not cut in a mix, I should or I could cut in the master if needed, because sometimes I see that producers send me the mixes with all the stuff over there, or maybe they have not cut the high end on the lead group, or on the percussion group. These small moves you can do with especially with the high cuts and the low cuts in the groups. So you do only one, you do maybe at the end of the mix, and you are able to do in one move a good choice, because you have all the sounds in there, and you select how much to shave, maybe in the leads group, to shave off a little bit of high end like this, to make space to the percussion, or maybe using a less steeper curve like this, to make a bit more space for the percussion. But this should be, I think, should be done at the end of the mix, so you have all the percussion working, you have done all the processing and all the clipping needed, saturation, etc., to the lead and sound, and you say, okay, maybe there is a conflict between the percussion and the high section, the high frequency of the lead.
Yeah.
You could do a thing like this in the group of the leads. It could be off. You can do a thing like this to shave off a little bit. The lead could lose a bit of brightness, but it's the brightness that is not needed, because from 10K and up, this part is mainly for the percussion. So you are not doing something like this, because you will eliminate everything. You're like shaving with a broader stroke.
I have to leave 1 second. You can speak with the chat about that. Give me 1 minute and I'm back really soon. So, but you can still talk with the chat, absolutely. I'm coming.
Yeah. I cannot see the chat, by the way. If there is some.
Yeah, but the chat is not talking now. But there are some people. So yeah.
So guys, this is about the cutting. Also, if you want to be more gentle in the groups at the end of the mix, you could go for high shelving or low shelving of the group of the sounds, instead of the classical cut. Also, here is the curve is broader. You will have less phase problems, or less changes in the sound, and you are able to make fit the high frequencies of the lead, for example, with the percussion, in a really easy way, to not staying there to do it in each single lead or in each single sound. So working with this macro idea in the mind it makes you finish the mix earlier, because let's say I am cutting this part in the lead group, and I see that maybe I start cutting a lot until the lead group fits in the percussion. Then I could start thinking about, okay, but I am cutting too much, no? Maybe there is one lead that needs to be shelved a little bit to make the cut or the shelf on the group a bit smoother. So working with this perspective helps a lot. Also for the lower section, no? If I see that I'm cutting too much or shelving too much in the groups, in the low mids area, that is the low mids and high mids, that are the fundamental areas.
Sorry guys.
If I see that I'm cutting or shelving too much in the groups, there is the moment to take a step back and go maybe in the lead sound that is conflicting here, or in the Atmos sound that is conflicting here, after I made this cut, that I'm telling myself, yeah, I've cut a lot. So it's not the group, is a single sound. Then you go back, you maybe do the same thing, the same stroke of the shelf in one single lead to resolve it. So it's a way to looking at the entire picture of the mix, in this case, and the entire group. And after you made these little treatments, if needed, in the lower section and in the higher section, you should and you must ask yourself, Am I doing too much? Okay, let's look back at the single sound to make fit better and to do less shelving in the group. So it's also there another time small moves, but made with the right concentration, with the right mindset, no?
And with love, obviously.
Yeah, with love, man. like your voice now.
Yes. I don't know. I was to the other room. Coming back, it's happened something. So I don't know what the fuck is happening. But
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Wow, yeah.
Yes.
You're speaking like an alien, man. What's up?
Yeah, because we are in a
Tell us
fucking.
your secret.
Yes, we are in a fucking alien space cafe, bro. Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So yeah, I think we answered a lot of questions. Let's see if the box has something. Sidechain tricks with we have talked before. Achieving a groovy percussion line that it's mainly using the sidechain that comes out the groove of the percussion, but
Yeah.
because only using a volume that is the ducking of the sidechain, you can create a very interesting percussion interaction between the elements, and that is the main trick to make them groove together well. So a good interaction of sidechaining and a bit of touches of equalization could make a lot.
Yeah.
Make a lot, and you will stay clear. At the end, you will see that the clipping that you could use or you should use on the percussion group or on the single percussion elements could be really low. Could be 1, 2 dB, or you could stay softer. Just because you're using the sidechain to make them fit better together. So this is a very clear way to achieve a good mix with using not all the plugins that are in the world, but
Okay.
it is a faster way to reduce all the, for example, for these peaks. Let's say who made the question of the clipping before?
Was Jackie.
Jackie.
Changa.
Yeah, as you can see, no, if you're still there, we can see, for example, we have this peak right there. So if I zoom in to this peak, you can see that is like few samples. It's like this kind of
Yeah.
peak. And now I zoom out just to make the reverse. You can see this little spike could be clipped, or here we have the full track, but this is, I think, a lead sound that could be clipped because it creates a spike that is like a few samples. It cannot be measured in milliseconds because it's very small. It goes to 9032 to 9030. It's like 5 milliseconds, 3 milliseconds. So the action of the clipping it's not audible. So you can do it in you can do it and eliminate all this and have a more cohesive mix, more like sausage mix. That is more
Yeah,
treatable.
fuck. I see right now that is my track. Okay, yes.
Yeah, this is what before the clipping tricks.
No,
Let's
yeah,
say that.
absolutely. Because as I say, bro, this was my problem. Now, thanks for the clipper, and now it's more better.
Yeah. We have resolved all this problem with this blue guy.
Definitely.
With the magic standard clip. There is something new in the chat, man.
No, there's
question,
not.
guys.
There's a silent chat today. I don't know why.
Wow.
The
Everything is eating the pasta.
Yeah,
right
probably.
now.
Yeah. Probably.
They're
I
all
don't
at
know.
dinner.
Come on, chat. Let's ask us something. I don't know about mastering stuff. So we are in front of a fucking master. So let's use that. Oh, that's.
Feel free to ask me something, guys,
yeah.
because
Come on.
I'm here for you.
Come on, guys, don't be shy. let's ask your question.
Don't be shy,
To the
guys.
master. With a master.
Maybe I could open a mastering project.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Let's
Can
do
open
it.
the mastering that I've done of your tracks, so we can see the processing a little bit.
Yeah, would be awesome.
Yeah. Let's see if I find it. Wait a minute. I'm coming back. I'm coming back in a minute. Okay, project. Okay. Test mastering. Here it is. Activate. Okay. This one I could close it. And this one I pick it up. Okay, let me open again the stream here. Close some analyzer. Okay, you're there.
Yeah.
So this was the track that we looked before.
Yeah.
This one shouldn't be there. Okay, and yeah, as you can see, there is no magic here. There's 5 plugins.
Yeah.
and I have controlled everything with all these peaks. I've controlled it with the On Zone Pro Maximizer, but before that I show you what I've done.
Yeah.
So
This
they
was,
should be
sorry, this was the one that I sent to you before clipping, all right? Yeah.
yeah before
Yeah.
the processing that I
Yeah.
have advised you to do. So
Oh yeah.
this is not a common shape of equalization that you will see in mastering, but it's just like a rebalancing.
Yeah, to
the
fix
mix.
the
So,
things. Yeah.
yeah, as you see, we are at 12 dB, so it's smoother. So we are talking about plus 2 dB on the lower section. We are
Yeah.
talking about a shelf of minus 2 dB. It's like a tilt shelf to rebalance a bit the main mix. Then we have a small bell in the lower mix, just darkening a little bit when the hard lead sound comes in, but
Yeah.
it's also smooth. It's like 2-3 dB of dynamic bell in this critical area that is the low mids, that need to be taken care very well.
Yeah.
And then I just make a little bell in the high section here to eliminate a bit of harshness. And that is the famous high cut that I've done. If you find yourself mastering and you see in the Pro Q3 that you throw on the master, if you see some material over there, if you see some material happening over there, just make this low cut, 0 latency, or try the other 2 modes. Natural phase could work also well. Just try the one that it sounds better to you, because every one of the 3 changes a bit the sound. So you could make this cut to eliminate the highest frequencies. And also here you could play a bit with the frequencies, just making the little sweep, and with a Q, you know. So you could go like this. You could go also smoother, but with a higher Q if needed, to boost a little bit, to make the high end shine, but cutting the highest frequency. So depending on the mix, you could make different cues for the equalizer.
Okay.
So this is the first process.
Yeah.
So after this little rebalance, I use the Pro C with the sidechain mode activated. Is in the center, so we are compressing the mid section of mid and side of the wall signal. being in the mastering stage, I using a longer attack to make the kick transient and all the transient in the mid range to come to pass the compressor. And then after, like here I've set it to 18 or something, 18 milliseconds. And then started compressing. So the peaks are passing, and if something else is it's over the threshold, it will be ducked down, but just in the mid range. So it's a way to control the mid range in a clear way in the mastering. Even if you have done the groups, even if you have done all the sidechain, you will hear sometimes that if you are pushing the levels up, all the levels up, sometimes the mid range could be a bit more under control. So this with the internal sidechain could works really good. It could be like this, or it could be with a Pro MB. This one is not used. And here I've used both of them. One to have a broad stroke in the mid range, to have a bit of compression. And these other ones with the 3 bands to have different kind of compression. One in the lower mids, one in the center of the spectrum, and one in the higher mids, the most sensitive area. So I unfortunately I cannot show you how it reacts because I have no input now. I'm going with a voice meter. It doesn't react well with my Cubase. But also this one, it's doing like 1 dB of compression.
Hello, thanks for the follow, Krell. How are you, my brother? How are you, my bro? Wait a second, there's a question also. No, if you want to finish your...
I could stop a bit right now. I was just saying that this multiband, it works in combination with the Pro C. So first the Pro C is taking care of the wall mid range, doing a bit of ducking, doing a bit of control, and this is used mainly for controlling the peaks that we see in the track. So it's like a how can I say, the finisher of the Pro C2. It's like another step of compression, but really carefully done. So these 3 bands. So I can stop a bit and ask you the question. Then
so first I want to
show up the last stuff.
So first, little promotional moment. I want to say to Krell that if you want to, you can subscribe to my channel for free with the link that I sent to you here with your Amazon Prime. You can subscribe and support this channel for free for you. So that's it. So if you have Amazon Prime, connect your account and subscribe to the channel. So the question is, hi guys. Hi guys. Next, can you explain us how do you proceed with the stereo image during the mastering? Thanks, Gabb.
Stereo image in the mastering stage.
Wait, sorry.
Oh, prima devi cacciare la sub se vuoi sapere la risposta. Devi cacciare la sub. La devi cacciare. Little
joke. Sorry. Let's go. Come on, bro. Sorry.
Oh shit. Guys. So I can show it that in the ozone before the maximizer and the vintage limiter. So about stereo image in the mastering, usually the stereo image in the mastering should not be touched too much, because if you had to touch the stereo image in the mastering, it's a signal that your mix is not good enough, because you need to get the right stereo image in the mix or in the groups or in the elements, and maybe enhance it a little bit in the mastering stage, because also here it's easy to overdo because of our room, because of the pleasant sound that is coming from the side. If you're boosting too much the side, you lose you lose the mid, you lose the center of the mix, and it could sound pleasant at the start, but it could sound worse at the end, because at the end you will have more side information than the mid information. So the thing that I suggest that could be done in the mastering to treat the stereo image or to enhance the stereo image is to add some bands here. Let's see how it okay, let's add a band, let's add another band. So you could do something like this in the mastering stage, like for example with the ozone. If you see that something is conflicting with the lower part of the spectrum, you could drop. Hopla, don't link the bands. Okay, 0, 0. You could do something like this. You could bring a bit down the stereo image in the lower section until the 200 or 300, or maybe a bit lower, because sometimes the sides on the lower mids are very pleasant. In the leads, a bit of it, or in the atmospheric sound. If it doesn't conflict too much with let's say with the first 3 or 4 harmonics of the bass, so we stay under the 200 Hz or 250, this part could be mono. But if you've done a good mix, and if you properly cut that area here, you could do nothing. You could leave it like this. This should only needs to be done if you haven't cut it properly in the mix to make a little bit mono. But it could work just to narrow up a bit the lower band.
Yeah.
And you can enhance the mid range after you're controlling it with some compression. You can enhance a little bit the stereo image on the mid range. Yeah. With this second band, let's say from 300 and something to 4K, 5K. Not too much. I wouldn't go too much higher in this enhancement of the stereo image, because in this part you will have all the percussions, you will have the transient of the snare, you will have a lot of transient material in the higher frequencies that if you spread too much in the stereo field, you will lose it. So in the mid range, you could go a bit with this. You could go a bit with this. You could go with the stereo eyes. That is like something like a doubler, something like an AS effect.
Yeah.
That's some milliseconds of delay to one of the two channels. And here there is no magic number. There is a sweet spot for each track that you should listen for yourself. I suggest to not go over like the 6 milliseconds, 7 or 8 or 10. This is this is just too much for electronic music, because it goes faster. So if you want or need a bit of more stereo image, and you want to add it with a stereo imager like this, that it offers you the kind of AS effect, usually between 3, 6, 7 milliseconds. That there is a sweet spot when the things open up. Don't broke, because you are adding some delay, so it could maybe block some sound, and you're adding a pleasant sparkle in the side. But you should go very, very gentle, very, very gentle with this knob. I think you could stay from 0 to 20, because you will hear a lot. And when doing this, you could look and take a look at the phase correlation meter here, and the vector scope here. Yeah. If you're adding too much on the sides, that is this part, and if you're losing too much in the mids.
Okay.
As this is the main thing you could do in master, and maybe in the higher section you could instead reverse it and do it quitting a bit of the side, eliminating a bit of the side, just if you feel that the percussion is too loosening up in the higher frequency. So you could you could make a little bit more in the mix. But this is, as I said, this is extra stuff. The right stereo image and the right balance with mid and side should be done in the mix. So
Okay.
this is like the final enhancement that you could do. So this is it. You can use ozone imager, you can use other imagers, but it needs to be multi-band, because if you're doing like only one band, you're messing up all the mix.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Multi-band imaging.
Yeah.
So yeah, and as you can see, I've not using it in this mix because I've controlled the mid-range with two compressors. The side signal was fine, and yeah, I've not put any imager, and you can see also the equalizer is off. Yeah, this is it. I don't know if Crowley, you've connected right now, or you were there also before when I showed you the Pro C2 with only the side channel.
I think that he's come. I think that he's come in when he start follow me. I think.
When it asked the question.
Yeah. I think.
Okay, so I can show you to another way to treat the side in the mastering. Maybe to enhance it, or just to take it under control. You open a Pro C2, you open the sidechain, internal sidechain, you go right there, you go into the side, and you drop it, as you can see, tack. You drop it into to make it work only on the side. Make it the cut to not work it on the lower part of the spectrum. You start compressing a little bit. Fast attack and medium slow release, or maybe just medium fast attack to make it sharp but smooth in the release. You could obviously keep out the auto gain, otherwise it will pump up the volume. You could control the side just using the threshold, or you could control the side first using the threshold and use it as a compressor, and then bring up a little bit of gain to have more side information but a bit more compressed. So this is another way to add the side to the master in a good way. And also you could make it in band selective mode, so you just push in the side on a portion of the spectrum that it could be broader but could be also sharper. If you feel that you haven't enough sides in the lower mids, you could compress a bit and smash it up a few dB of gain only on the side on the low mids. But yeah, if you are thinking about doing it for your mastering, just try to do it broadly before, because this is very like precise moves that if you do too much, your mix is fucked up. So this is for the side channel treatment on the master. So very gentle moves. Also here in the compressor, we say 2-3 dB of compression on the sides if needed, and then a few dB of gain added after. But it's a lot. 2 or 3 is a lot. So maybe staying in the 0 to 2 dB, it's way better. So it's a more gentle move to do, and it's very important to not overdo it, because as I said, the relationship that you made in the mix between the mid and the side channel, if you work too much on the side on the mastering, you will fuck up the mix that you've done before. So it's a gentle move, this on the side on the stereo, signal on the master. It's a very clinical move that you could do.
Details.
Yeah. Small details that works, but that should be done in a very gentle way. And yeah, I think that's clear for the side. We could go further with the mastering.
Yeah.
So after After the correction with the equalizer, we made some compression with the Pro C. We made some other small compression with the Pro MB to control the spikes of the peaks, and then we went into the ozone maximizer, ozone vintage limiter, and the final one is the Pro L. I make it a little smaller so we can see them both here. So what is that? It's like the final sandwich. This one. We have the ozone maximizer.
What do you mean? What do you mean is the final sandwich?
The final sandwich because we have maximizer, the final squasher. We have the ozone maximizer that is basically it's a clipper or maximizer clipper. It's like that. The first limiter that is the vintage limiter in the ozone. That is a very good one, but I don't even touch the zero with this one. It just makes all the sound to stay there.
Yeah.
And in a few seconds I will tell you why I don't use the true peak.
Yeah.
It's very
Italy
interesting.
called my friends, motherfucker, man. Spaghetti Mafia, yeah, bad guy, Sean. Where are you from? She from Italia.
Okay.
Fuck. What the fuck, bro? Are you crazy? Fuck, man. Thank you so much. You fucking give thanks. Give 5 fucking subs. Thank you, my bro. Thank you so much, brother. Fuck, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you fucking epic, my brother. Woohoo! Thank you, bro. Really, thank you.
So yeah,
Fuck,
with the maximizer in the ozone is like a final clipper, but with more control. It has all these modes here, but I will be honest. I just use the IRC4 modern because it's the best sounding with electronic music, I think. And you go down with the threshold. It goes like it's like a standard clip, but it has, I think, as a smoother algorithm to clip. It's not hard clipping. It's more of a soft clipper. So yeah, you could go down with the threshold with this. You can smash a bit of dBs of gain, and then going into the vintage limiter after. As you can see, these are some more controls that you can have. So for the fast or slow mode is the character of this maximizer. Obviously, working at high BPMs, you can and you should remain faster. Like here, 1.5, 1.4 is it's a good starting point to make the maximizer react good. So it's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Then we have the stereo independence that regards the transients and the sustain material that is present in the mix. And this also, but it's about the stereo image, and could change a bit the stereo image of the stereo perception of the transient and of the sustain. So let me explain it a bit better. As you can see, there is these 2 dots here and these 2 other dots there. If I go up, I unlink the transient, and they go more in the stereo field. If the initial sound has transient more in the stereo field, so it makes a bit unlinked one to each other. Other stuff is if I go right there, all the transient material is linked. So every transient it happened in the same moment in the left and the right channel. So you could unlink it to make the stereo perception a bit more natural, because sometimes hi-hats or high frequency elements are processed in a way that they don't have the right transient at the same time in the left and the right speaker. So maybe they are a bit decentrated, that it could help to maintain that. And also this, I go very, very, very gentle, like say 10 to 20%, maybe 30% if needed. If I listen that is needed, but it's very gentle move. And for the sustain, we can go here a little bit up. I think, or it works for me. It makes the sustain of the sound a bit unlinked in the stereo field. So if you have panned elements or something that it jumps left, right in the mix, this could help to keep the stereo image intact while the maximizer is working. So
Yeah.
this is done. This of the transient and sustain is done after this. So you are setting the threshold, aiming for here 1 to 2 dB showing up here of compression of clipping.
Yeah.
And then after that I say, yeah, I'm losing a bit of the transient interaction, or I'm losing a bit of the sustain in the stereo field, and you could play a little bit with that, or a little bit with these other stuff like that. That is the transient emphasis, because as you know, the clipper, it cuts, and this transient emphasis is like a mini expander that after the cutting of the clipper, it brings up a bit of the transient back. So
Yeah.
it could be useful if you want to make a bit more of a sandwich with the clipping, and then you feel that you're losing a bit of transient. That is a normal thing, and you could just try to dial in a little bit.
Yeah.
As you can see, I used only 2% because I have not squared a lot in this section, so I use it only a few percentage of this. And I would like to show you about the waveform. I can try to go there in the info box, and not using voice meter but using the microphone, and try to see if Cubase is reacting to the audio. Let's see if it works.
Okay.
So I'm using the mic right now. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I go.
I'm just trying to make it.
I go exit from voice meter.
Anyway, Banks,
it.
you fucking crazy, bro. You gift 5 subs. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Crazy, bro. You're fucking the best one, bro.
It is not reacting. Let's see why. Okay. Fireface. Okay, now maybe I think we can show it. I just need to drop the stereo volume down to not have the double audio here.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can see the waveform also.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, finally. Yeah, sorry guys for my
Take it easy,
knowledge,
bro.
basic knowledge of
chill
voice meter, but
This is a chill podcast. Nel chilling.
So as you can see, it's barely touching the maximizer, the track. It's more of a control of the sound. Maybe we can go with where the peaks are and see if there is reacting. Yeah, you can see just a little bit. A little bit. Ozone, I think it doesn't shows you exactly how you are applying the maximizer. Also when where is not happening nothing, the algorithm of this maximizer just pumps up the sound.
Yeah,
it's clear. It's very easy to hear that just dropping the threshold down, and you will hear also the increasing of volume, and when it's not touching the sounds, you could still feel it, that is doing something, that is it's like crashing or pumping. So this is the maximizer action that is barely like 1 dB. No, it's nothing. It's like just touching the peaks.
Yeah.
Then we can see it goes into the first limiter, and also here just touching it when it's when needed. So it's like all the control of the sound I've made here. I've made with compression and with the balancing with the equalizer. So this just shaves up the last peaks. If you need to use the maximizer like this with all this stuff, maybe something is wrong in the mix. So don't use it if you're an ozone user or you're using another maximizer area. Is doing all this action in the master is no good. It's no good, and you should go back into the mix and fix with the stuff that should be fixed, because if you're doing too much maximizing or too much clipping in the master, you are just destroying the sound. So it has no sense. So it was minus 4.7, it just barely touching it. It's more of a control. So the first limiter, it just makes the ceiling to 0, but with no true peak. So the intersample peaks go through the 0. So here we can see we are going through the 0 in the input of the Pro L, and also here we are not using true sample peaks. So what is the difference between the using it and not using it in the master? The true peak is like the intersample peaks, as I showed you before, the small section of a sample that is peaking over 0. But because we are working in 32-bit in the Cubase, or in every DAW, where they work in 32-bit floating or in 64-bit floating point, even if you go over 0, so leaving the true peak off, it helps to not give attention to those intersample peaks, and maybe they pass the 0 of the signal, but it's better to don't care, and to make your master stay under 0 dB without using the true peak. You could use, as I made here, as I've done here, you could use 2 without the true peak. So the first true peaks are letting be passed in the Pro L, and the ones that it doesn't catch it, because we are staying minus 0.2 and minus 0.2. Even if there is some true peak, it doesn't go through the 0, because we made like half dB of headroom. We made like minus 0.2 here, and even if we have some true peaks going over 0, we go there, and we also have another minus 0.2 or minus 0.3 that is more safe for the streaming devices or for uploading the tracks on the internet. It's a safer point. So the difference between using the true peak and no true peak is the transients. You will hear if you're limiting too much, or if you're limiting with the true peaks, it's happening something in the transient material, in the hi-hats or something that is being squashed a bit, because it catches the peaks that are in the intersample length, so very short. So no true peak on the mastering. It's a good way to perceive that, and maybe use a combination of 2 limiters. Maybe could be Ozone Pro L or 2 Pro L without the true peak, and allowing this small portion of the spectrum to be fucked up over 0, and you don't care of it. You obtain a clearer result. The algorithm of the software that you are using, it's taking care of it. You won't clip the master bus doing like this. So this is the true peak section. Let's go play again, and we can see that the Pro L at this point is not doing nothing, or the mix is barely touching it. We've seen the most. Let's go here. That is very high section of the track. So we can go here and look how many peaks, how many stuff we have controlled earlier, and we
Yeah.
see that the Pro L is not doing nothing. It's flat. It's already flat. It's already
Yeah.
treated in the maximizing section here.
What?
It's already
What?
being
Wait
controlled
for it,
in the limiting stage here.
How much is
So,
cheers,
yeah.
my bro? Thank you so much, bro, for the 41. Yeah, 41 beats, my bro. Thank you so much, my brother. You're totally
Big up.
crazy. Yeah, fucking amazing. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yes. Love you, my bro.
Okay. So yeah, as you can see, the limiting stage is very smooth because we have made a good control of the mid range, and we have rebalanced the track with the first EQ. So the trick in the mastering is to have the best balance before hitting the final stages. That could be clipping, limiting, or other ways could be limiting, clipping, limiting. But I find myself using it in a combination like this.
Yeah.
First a maximizer, then the first limiter just to control it, and the second limiter to take care of the true peaks and to control it even more. So you can also zoom it. You can see the Pro L minus 0.3, minus 0.4, so half a dB at the max
Yeah.
of the action of the limiter. So it's very, very gentle, and it's
Yeah.
the RMS is high, guys. We are minus 7.4. So I could also go higher,
Yeah.
but I don't want to. So
Because it's
to
too
smash it too much. Because
Yeah. Also.
it sounds good. It's a good loudness. Minus 8, minus 7.5, minus 7 at least. But I'm not a huge fan of
No, me too.
to squashed master because
We don't
it's
want
simple,
to.
no?
We don't want to do a lasagna.
We don't want to do a lasagna with the mastering. with,
Yes, bro.
So it has no fucking sense because it's good to have a good RMS, but you are playing in a big system, so why you will need to squash the unsquashable in your master? It has no sense, at least for me. But
No. I think the same. And also, I remember when I was to the school about sound engineer, and we had talk about the loudness war that happened in like the 2000, or I don't remember when. Anyway, the people starting to compress and fucking limiting a lot, and they was arrived to a point that was impossible to have like dynamics and stuffs. And I'm talking about rock music also, about rock music, pop music. So yeah, I'm totally agree with you, bro. Also, you don't need all these.
So yeah, don't mess too much with the numbers, but aim for that region, minus 7, minus 8. If you see that you're doing your master and these last elements, clipper and limiter, works too much, you need to go one step back and maybe try to rebalance all the spectrum. Because if the spectrum and the mix is balanced before the final lifting, you will find a lot easier to push the mix to this range, to minus 7, minus 8, without barely touching the maximizer or the clipper or everything you put in the last part of the chain. So this is a thing to take into consideration, to have a loud mix controlled, have a good master, and don't have in squash it too much, because if you use the Pro L2 like this, or I don't know, maybe if I say 2 dB or 3 dB like this, it's not good. It's you could clearly hear that it's doing too much. Maybe if you do 2 Pro L that is reducting minus 1, minus 2 dB, could be fine. But it's like is limiting all the time. So all the work that you've done in the transient before, it's getting destroyed by the
Yeah.
limiter. So I think the best way is using multiple ones, like say 2 or a clipper maximizer before, and then 2 limiter that just keep the sound there.
Yeah.
And as we can see in the final waveform, let's check this part when we have all this stuff here.
Yeah.
We can clearly see that
Thanks for the
even
2
if
bits,
it's
bro.
even if it's squared, even if it's really loud, in the looking it like this, you can zoom it a little bit, and we can see that everything is in its own place. So nothing is squared. Everything is there. The main waveform, the bigger waveforms that are the more important to preserve are still there.
Yeah.
So you have the curve of the kick. It look bad if it looks like this. If it starts squaring out stuff, this is not good.
No,
You
absolutely.
should drive at the level of the 0 point, but barely touching it. So this is a sign of a good mix and a good final stage. So
Yeah, yeah.
just at the point of arriving it, not too much squared, dynamic, and
Yeah,
bigger
easy.
MS.
Yeah, good.
So as you can see, there is still dynamic.
Yeah. Also,
Instead of-
also, we can say
instead
that this is an amazing
this.
mix down.
Yeah, this was a mix. It was a good mix, man.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It was a good mix.
Yeah, after-
Otherwise, if it wasn't a good mix, you have to see like 7-8 plugins in the master, and then is the time when I talk to producer and I
No, there's
explain
something
how
wrong.
to do better mix and to be lighter, to be able to be lighter in the mastering stage. So
Yeah.
this is one of my mastering chain that I use. It's that the every mastering chain that I use, it goes more or less like this. It goes from correction EQ, it goes into compression,
Yeah.
and it goes to the final 2 stages. So more or less is like this. Every mix needs his own one because of the differences in the different type of mixes, but more or less is that kind of process to end up with a big chunk of RMS reaching the 0 point and maintaining the dynamics of the track really well. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I don't know if there's more question in the chat.
I don't know. Let's wait. Maybe Vanks that he fucking gift a lot of cash. So maybe if you have a question, Vanks, you can ask to us or maybe to Gabb.
Yeah.
A question, absolutely. But maybe anyway, I think that we are done. We are here, like since 2 hours and a half. We are 3 hours more or less. So
Yeah, 3
I think
hours,
that-
guys.
I think that was an amazing streaming, and also with a lot of good, interesting things and point to work on it. So, yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. I
It was
try to
amazing.
stay to explain the main stuff that came to my mind in this moment. But if you guys that are watching this video,
Yeah, but also,
and maybe we will upload it on YouTube, and someone
yeah,
would,
sure,
would like
sure.
to ask something more,
Yeah.
we could do another episode based on the question and do
Yeah,
more in-depth examples here in the Cubase with the clippers and some other stuff that could be explained better, but based on your request. So
Yeah,
it will
basically-
be more useful, no, for you.
yeah. Basically, we talk
you
a
guys.
lot. We talk a lot about also about mixing and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Let's wait if there's some question. I can take off the screen now. Yes. I can do it.
Yeah.
No, I can do it by myself, easy.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. Banks, are you still here, my bro? Also, fuck, there's 20 seconds. I have to change. Yeah, I have to change the delay of the Twitch streaming because I think it's 20 seconds is too much. I have to change it to be more quickly.
Ah, okay.
Not
30
quickly,
seconds of delay between
Yeah,
between
yeah.
StreamYard and Twitch. Okay.
No. Between Twitch. I think that you can change it from directly from the side of Twitch and not from OBS, because on OBS you can set
Okay.
like the delay like 20 seconds, or you can set it. But yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I go one moment to the bathroom, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure.
I come back.
Yeah, sure, bro. Anyway, guys, it was an amazing streaming. Thank you so much, Banks. Thank you. I can just say thank you, my bro. Thank you. Really, thank you to support this channel. And yeah, how I can say to you, fucking thank you, my brother. If you have a question, we are here to reply to the last question. And yeah, I will upload the video on YouTube too, so all the people can join it. Or maybe no, I do maybe on Patreon. I don't know, because it has banks gifted subs and stuffs. I think that is good for all the people support the channel and support the content, and also the guys that working on it, like me, Gabb, and stuff. You know, what do you think, guys? But I think that is correct. Do something like that. So yeah, or maybe I put on YouTube. I don't know. Let's see.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I think that we are
Yeah.
done here. So
Okay.
thank you so much, brother, to be here and for your skills. Really, thank you. So maybe see you in another
Thanks
episode.
to inviting me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure, my brother. Maybe let's do another one maybe in the future. Absolutely. Maybe talking different things. Or also maybe doing production together, because you say that you're not working more on production, or not so much, but maybe we can do something interesting.
Yeah, we can evaluate it yet, or maybe if you guys next time will send some tracks, we could also
Yeah,
do a
feedback
mixed
episode.
feedback on the track. So having the material in front of us, we can get in the more in depth in the each singular mix. So it
Yeah.
will be fun, and maybe we can also solo talk and of other techniques that maybe in a certain mix could work, in another mix could work other
Yeah,
stuff. So
sure.
it's another way to explore the mixing section
Yeah.
of the work.
So let's go, guys. See you in the next one. Thank you so much, Gabb. See you in the next one, guys. And yeah, that's it. Bye, guys. Woo!
Bye everyone. Thank you
Yeah.
for staying with us.